Providing children the guidance, love, support, and mentorship they deserve takes a community. We'd like to welcome Cindy Lundhagen, founder and director of Hearts for Summerville, celebrating 2 years of providing loving assistance to underprivileged youth. It's great to have you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
So we were having a conversation just a moment ago about shelter insecurity, home insecurity for a lot of these kids. Maybe we could just start there. You know, your mission is to support holistically children in the area, but what are you finding in terms of housing?
Housing, you know, I guess basically just looking at the numbers of kids that we've served over the past 2 years. You know, we started out really small with like 20 or 30 kids initially when we began, and over the course of 2 years we've served over 650.
Wow.
But the stability, the roster kind of stays of active kids around the 400 mark because so many families are moving.
Very transient.
Very transient.
Yeah.
You know, housing is insecurity, even though there's some stoppage to evictions. A lot of our families have moved. Some of them moved into better situations, some of them.
Well, if your program has been going on the last couple of years, that was right in the thick of the pandemic. Was that an impetus to start the organization?
That was exactly how we started. We started March 22nd of 2020 to be exact.
Wow.
I had met probably 20 or 30 kids serving on a food truck with my church in the Summerville area prior to that, and I had been going out into their neighborhoods and met their families and met their guardians. And when COVID hit off, on that same day, March 22nd, 2020, 2 kids called me up on the same day and said, "Hey, can you help me? My dad got laid off from a dishwashing job and we have no food." And so I did the social media impulsive pleas to my friends, thinking, okay, my friends will go and buy a couple bags of groceries, tell me where they're at, and I'll go take them to some kids who need it. And I was running all day long because I wasn't just finding the kids that I knew. We were being told about other folks, and the Guardian Ad Litem program gave us some referrals. So I kind of call it a calling because it was 2019 when I really first started thinking about doing something with these kids before COVID kicked it off. And our pillars of what we're trying to do is really step in the gap. So we call underprivileged youth is who we're serving, but that's a word that encompasses a lot of things, and it's not just poverty. We have seen everything. And so it's really just trying to come alongside the individual child and seeing what their needs are and seeing if we can meet them. And we know we can't do it. As a brand new young organization, we don't have the capacity to meet every single need that we see, but we are learning to resource and partner with anybody who wants to help us out. We've partnered lots of individuals. I mean, we're community supported. Everything that we get in, we don't store. We get it right back out. We've partnered with lots of local churches in the Summerville area. Katie's Crops gives us fresh produce to take out. Publix will donate day-old pastries and bread, and
So you are getting support from the community. You also need some volunteers. So for people watching, what do you need so that we know how to fulfill?
What we need the way I describe what we need is we need triple T's. So we need time, talent, and treasure.
Talent, treasure.
Volunteers, if you've got some time, we go out Mondays and Wednesdays every evening on those 2 weekdays, and then 3 Saturdays a month where we actually go into the neighborhoods and spending time with our kids.
Tell us where people can apply.
So it's not really an applied process.
Or where do they contact you?
You just show up. That's how we roll.
Just show up, okay.
So
where do they show up?
Depending on how many volunteers show up, depends on how many routes that we can actually go on. But they show up at Ashley Ridge Church office, which is located at 1411 Bacons Bridge Road in Summerville.
Cindy, I want to thank you so much for joining us.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you for all of this information. Of course, our viewers are going to be inspired. We're back after this.